Hello everyone. In this video, we're going to be taking a look at an article from the News and Observer. It was published on November 23rd. It's written by Camila Molina. So, by her name, Hispanic, there's going to be a bias here looking at the title. And after reading this, there sure as shit was. She's kind of dishonest in how she reports this because she leaves out some very key facts on why this particular incident happened until the very end of the article, because then you go, oh, well, there's a good reason for it. Undocumented man arrested after leaving sanctuary to meet with immigration officials. Now, mind you, he already had come into this country illegally and been deported, went through due process, and as part of that, he was barred from entering the United States for a set amount of years. He decided, well, fuck that, I'm above the law, and came back and illegally entered and had to go into the church for sanctuary. All right, in order to avoid being deported. And for whatever reason, he was going to get, deferred status when he shouldn't even be in the country because he was illegally in the country after the fact of being deported, when you're not supposed to be in the country for so many years after illegally entering the country and being deported. But yet he did that. So he had to go into hiding at a church like a coward because he didn't think the laws of this country apply to him. He thinks he's special. And the only thing Camilla has is feels over reals. Let's get into the article here. After living almost a year in a Durham church, an undocumented man was arrested Friday by immigration officers when he left the church to keep an appointment with U.S. Citizenship and Immigration Services in Morrisville, which they shouldn't have even been giving him a chance to get deferred status and get some form of legal status in this country, because he was in here illegally after he went through due process, and his punishment was you can't come back to the United States for so many years. And he just thumbed his nose at that and went, well, hey, fuck USA, I'm gonna cross the border anyway because I'm fucking special. And it's complete and total horse shit. Samuel Oliver-Bruno, 47, has been living in the basement of Citywell United Methodist Church for 11 months while he petitions to have his deportation to Mexico delayed. Churches are one of the few places where U.S. Immigration and Customs Enforcement does not make arrests. Yes, because of the holy seed and sanctuary. So what do these assholes do? They run to churches. And they go, give me sanctuary. And they get it. I mean, this is ridiculous. He had to stay in the church for 11 months because he's an illegal who was told, don't come back for so many years. You can't come into the country for so many years, and then you have to legally apply. He said, fuck that. And he thinks that he should get special treatment. U.S. Citizenship and Immigration Services requested Oliver-Bruno to appear in person to provide fingerprints, a necessary step for his petition, according to a news release from Alerta Migratoria, an immigrants' right advocacy organization in North Carolina. Let me translate what Alerta Migratoria is. They're not an advocacy organization. They're one of those NGOs that wants the open borders and shit like that. More than anything, to call them an immigrants' rights organization is complete horseshit, because they want these people to just be able to come into this fucking country and just be able to get away with it and do what the fuck they want. Oliver-Bruno was accompanied by faith leaders, family members, and other supporters Friday morning. He was arrested by immigration authorities inside the USCIS office. Smart thinking. You know he's coming down there. You don't let the other office know what's going on if you're immigration. You just show the fuck up and arrest his sorry ass. That's what I would do in their position. But they're trying to go conspiracy. When asked by the News and Observer why Oliver-Bruno was arrested, ICE spokesperson Brian Cox said in an email, Mr. Oliver-Bruno is a convicted criminal who has received all appropriate legal process under federal law, has no outstanding appeals, and has no legal basis to remain in the U.S. Yes, exactly, because he came into this country illegally, was caught in the, doing so, went through his due process, was given his sentence, and part of that sentence was don't come back for so many years and then only come in illegally after that point. He didn't want to follow that, though. USCIS did not comment on Oliver-Bruno's case. Importantly, however, the agency does not schedule an appointment at our application support centers for an applicant who does not have a pending immigration benefit request. A USCIS spokesperson, Michael Barr, said in a statement, which he should not have had a pending immigration benefit request. He has a deportation order against him for illegally entering the country and then getting caught and then going to court and a judge ruling that he does not have a right to be in this country. I mean, this is ridiculous. USCIS is committed to adjudicating all petitions, applications, and requests fairly, efficiently, and effectively on a case-by-case basis to determine if they meet all standards required under applicable law, policies, and regulations. Well, there's no law for these illegals to be able to do this shit. It's just policy. So let's be honest about that. And the guy, let's be honest, should not have had a meeting on the books with the USCIS because he has a deportation order, being an illegal who had due process in a court case for coming here illegally in the first place. In a joint statement released Friday evening, Reps David Price and G.K. Butterfield accused USCIS and ICE of coordinating the arrest. See, we've got conspiracy theories flying from two reps. Hey, you gotta love that one. It's coordinated. No. It's easy to find out this type of shit because it's all in databases. They just happen to look and see that the guy they're looking for, a red flag went up and they went, oh shit, we know where he's going to be. We'll arrest him. It appears ICE has acted in concert with officials at USCIS who instructed Mr. Oliver-Bruno to appear at a local USCIS office to discuss his deferred deportation. Well, guess what? If he knows that he has a deportation order against him because he came into the country illegally, then went in front of a judge, and the judge said, hey, guess what, asshole? You came into this country illegally, you didn't want to follow the fucking rules, you're barred from this country for so many years, and when you do come back legally. Well, guess what? Guess the fuck what? It doesn't matter if it was coordinated or not. He's here illegally. All right? I don't hear you bitching about all the people who have been busted on these outstanding warrant things where they go, oh, you want a free TV, or oh, you got a free computer or a free laptop, come and collect. You ain't bitching about that. Same fucking principle. Same exact principle. But oh no, an illegal is going to get sent back to his fucking country. Wah, fucking wah, fucking wah. If he wanted to come to this country, he should have came here legally like his wife did. It's that simple. He was then apprehended by plainclothes ICE agents upon entering the building. At best, Mr. Oliver-Bruno was presented with a catch-22 dilemma. At worst, he was entrapped. No, that's not entrapment. This has already been ruled. The example I gave was ruled in court perfectly fucking legal. That would be no different. No different at all. If he's stupid enough, he's on the lam, he's a fucking criminal. If he's stupid enough to walk into a government agency's office, doesn't matter if the agency is one that could arrest his ass. He should expect for other government agents from an agency that will arrest his ass to be there. If you don't, you're a fucking moron. And that being the case, maybe we should not have him in this country because he's just stupid breeds stupid. Because look what his kid did. Stupid does breed stupid. We're gonna get into what his kid did with this whole situation. And his kid's an adult. Which also goes to show that the best is not coming across our border. Because they just breed fellow shitbags. It is clear that while Mr. Oliver-Bruno was attempting to follow the law in pursuit of his legal petition, he had no legal right to petition. He has an automatic deportation order. And you'd say follow the law in pursuit of his legal petition. There's no law. This is deferred shit. It's more policy than anything. With him, it's not like DACA deferred, which still isn't even law. All right. And you're like, well, he was attempting to follow the law. Well, if he was attempting to follow the law, he shouldn't have come in the fucking country in the first place. Then he wouldn't have got arrested. Ah. I mean, this is so fucked up. So, attempted to follow the law in pursuit of his legal possession. ICE coordinated with USCIS. Coordinated. That's a theory. You have no proof. And you're like, upon his leaving the Citywell United Methodist Church. Well, they needed to get him out of there some way. If he was stupid enough to leave, hit the protection of sanctuary, that's on him. And that's if it was even a coordinated effort at all. ICE has agreed to keep Oliver-Bruno in a detention center in the country until his case is adjudicated, the statement said. Wait a minute, you don't pass go and get due process again. You came into this country illegally. It's an automatic deportation. That's the law. That is literally the law. If you get found guilty and you come back in after getting deported, after going through your due process, you don't pass go. You don't collect $200. You go right to fucking jail and then back to Mexico. Holy shit. While this means he will not be immediately deported, we remain committed to fighting for his release. Oh my God. A crowd of supporters gathered the scene Friday. A crowd of supporters gathered outside the office shortly before 9 o'clock Friday morning to pray for Oliver-Bruno. Oh, they did more than pray. Citywell's pastor, Cleve May, told those gathered that he hoped attending the appointment would be a simple step of due process for Oliver-Bruno's request for deferred action. He has no right to deferred action. He came into the country fucking illegally after he was deported, and there was an order put against him saying, hey, you come back, you're going to get sent right the fuck out. This is bullshit. This is a required part of the process on the part of the USCIS, and so we are asking that our government honor a person's attempt to follow the process. If he was trying to follow the process, he would have gone to a fucking point of entry and applied for legal fucking status there. He would have saved up the money, actually, and he would have gone to a U.S. consulate or a U.S. embassy and applied. Paid the thousands of dollars and came in fucking legally. Let's be honest, because what he was trying to do is skirt the fucking system, and now trying to take advantage of law that was made by the left or policy so that eventually there's more Democrat voters that, that are going to vote for the Democrats. I love that, though. Follow the process. May said to the crowd before entering the building with Oliver-Bruno and his legal team. He's got a fucking legal team. A fucking guy who thumbs his nose at this country and its laws because he feels he has a right to fucking be here has a legal team. While Americans get fucked over who can't afford a fucking attorney. That's complete bullshit. Oliver-Bruno entered the building with May and his legal team. Yeah. Ugh. Your presence here is a very helpful thing in demonstrating the community support and the fact that if any violation of his due process were to occur, it will not go unwitnessed and will not go before the community crying out of justice. He already had his due process. He was deported. He was told if he came back, it would be he would not pass go, not collect $200. He would go straight to back to fucking Mexico. Now you want to be able to give him special fucking treatment. Shut the fuck up. Cleve. Oliver-Bruno entered the building with May and his legal team while the rest of his supporters waited outside the building. Through the glass doors of the building, some supporters and reporters saw Oliver-Bruno, his son, and immigration officers scuffle. So, not only did Oliver-Bruno get into it with, officers, get into a fight with them, his kid did too. Yeah. They're bringing the best and they're breeding the fucking best, aren't they? These fucking illegals that just come across the fucking border. His kid assaulted someone, an adult, mind you, his kid's an adult, assaulted one of these officers. This is the caliber of person that they're trying to get special treatment for. People who don't want to respect the law. It's vile. You say you're a man of God, but here you are trying to help criminals because they are. The father, he's a criminal because he came into this country illegally, got deported, didn't want to follow the laws or the rules, came back, had to go into for hiding at a church. His kid, you're a fucking criminal when you will assault a member of law enforcement. These are not people that we want adding a positive that we want adding to our society because they're not going to give us a positive benefit to that society. I got no problems with his ass being deported. Oliver-Bruno was arrested and taken out a back door and put into a van, which was then surrounded by his supporters. Yeah, so basically, and they're trying to make it sound like this is peaceful, a mob surrounded the van. Doesn't matter if they're singing songs or praying. Something could set that off and you've got instant mob violence. Some blockaded the van for about 2 hours singing worship songs and praying. Eventually, Morrisville police and the Wake Sheriff's Office arrested those blockading the van, including May, after multiple warnings to disperse. This is what they're doing for a fucking criminal who does not care about U.S. law, does not care about the laws of the state or the laws of the nation, who will come here because he feels he's fucking entitled. What does this church do for parishioners within the community that are Americans? I would love to know, because I bet you it ain't shit in comparison. Charity starts at home, not by importing people from Mexico. Jesus fucking Christ. Oliver-Bruno's son, Daniel Oliver Perez, a U.S. citizen, was arrested in the parking lot after approaching the van to say goodbye to his father. He was charged by Morrisville police with assault on a government officer. So that means he either got arrested for the assault inside the building or another assault happened after the fact and they had gave him a free pass on the first one. I'm guessing the latter. I'm guessing that he went over to quote-unquote say goodbye to his father and got into it again. I'd put money on that. They're trying to make it sound like, though, that he just went over to say goodbye and he got arrested. He assaulted these people. He didn't just go over to say goodbye. You already admitted he got into a scuffle, meaning he assaulted them. The Morrisville Police Department received a call at 9:15 a.m. about a crowd preventing ICE from transporting someone who had been arrested, the agency said in a news release. The police department says it confirmed ICE had a federal arrest warrant for Oliver-Bruno, and that the agency did not assist in his arrest. The police department arrested 27 people in the crowd who were told to disperse. See what I mean about putting it at the end? You see what I say about putting it at the end? He had a warrant, a federal warrant for his arrest. Because he came back into the country illegally. He had his due process, and part of that was you come back, before this time is up, you're going to get sent right the fuck out. Now they want to give him due process? He already had his due process. He knew what the consequences were going to be if he came back. This is some fucked up shit. The Morrisville Police Department did not have prior knowledge of the plans to arrest Mr. Oliver-Bruno. Anyone with inquiries about the initial arrest are asked to contact the U.S. Immigration and Customs Enforcement Office. And then, oh, look at the protester. Oh, you got to feel bad. This is ridiculous. So, they put the heartfelt photos. Oh, yeah, Verdiana Martinez Alerta, Migratoria's director, and Oliver-Bruno knew he was taking a risk by leaving the church, and an even bigger risk by walking into an immigration office so that his petition could be considered. Like I said, Alerta Migratoria is not... they're about getting these illegals in here and fucking getting them fucking carte blanche and shit. Like they're doing here with him. Oliver-Bruno is one of 6 immigrants in the state who is living on church properties to avoid imminent deportation and buy time to delay deportation. Yeah. They're supposed to be, see ya. They're already gone through the process. They know they're going to be deported. These churches are called sanctuary churches and are part of a national growing faith-based movement. Not really. Not growing that much. It's just the liberal lefty little fuckers in churches. Most conservative churches are like, whoa, what the fuck are you doing? And they're getting pissed that other churches within, they're like, the Methodist church as a whole, or, particular sect of the Methodist church, or Baptist or Catholic or whatever, that are doing this shit. Other churches within the larger church itself are like, what the fuck? They seriously are. They're sick of this shit. We're all sick of it. It's just a small minority helping people like this. ICE generally does not arrest undocumented immigrants in churches, schools, or hospitals based on an internal, self-imposed policy established in 2012. Yeah, during the Obama administration. Because the Democrats want the illegals in here. Not only that, it was bad optics for Obama when, he's trying to play things fucking differently. I mean, this is ridiculous. By them leaving the church and entering these immigration offices, they are essentially putting themselves in harm's way to make this request, Martinez said. He had no right to make a fucking request. He had a warrant for his arrest for a deportation that had already happened so that he could be deported again. He does not have a right or to due process at that point. He does not have a right to make that request to stay. Alerta Migratoria has been making regular visits to Washington, D.C. to advocate for the 6 immigrants and obtain support for their respective Congress members. They're not their Congress members, you fucking nitwit. Do you want to know why? Because those members of Congress represent citizens, the voters, not illegals. Let's get things straight. They do not represent the illegals. They only represent their constituents, who are fucking registered voters. Oh, wait, are you talking about the illegals who vote in elections for Democrats? Is that what you're talking about? That dirty little secret that only even Beto's people admitted they knew was going on, and Brad kind of like, oh yeah, it's happening. And got caught on camera doing that. And if they knew, Beto knew that was going on. Because he ain't stupid. He might look like a moron, but he ain't completely stupid. You mean those supposed members of Congress that are supposed to represent them? Oh, wait, they're not citizens, so that doesn't even count. Reps David Price and G.K. Butterfield, both Democrats, co-signed a support letter asking USCIS for prosecutorial discretion in Oliver-Bruno's case. There is no prosecutorial discretion. He was deported. He was told if he came back, do not pass go, do not get in front of a judge, you're going straight out the fucking country. Sorry. Those are the rules. That's the law. We strongly believe Mr. Oliver-Bruno is someone who is deserving of deferred action, the letter says, which was signed on November 1st. Since he moved into the church, Oliver-Bruno has stopped working in construction. He is the sole financial support for his wife, Julia Perez Paccio, and son Daniel. His wife has lupus and depends financially on her husband to pay for treatment. Now, mind you, she's on a work visa and not working. Now, mind you, they're claiming she has lupus, and I know that can't be a great thing, but you can work with fucking lupus. A lot of people do it. Because they have no choice but to work with it. She's here on a work visa, let's put her to fucking work. I mean, it doesn't have to be hard-breaking fucking manual labor, but if she's here on a work visa, she should be working, or her ass should be deported too. It's that simple. And his son's an adult. He can support his own fucking self. His wife has lupus and depends financially on her husband to pay for treatment. She could fucking work. And no, guess what? She's getting it paid for by the state. How much you want to bet? That's not true. I would bet $100 that the state is covering her shit, and that is a lie. I would bet $100 because illegals get free health care and welfare and food stamps and all this other free shit. Well, Americans can't even get that stuff. So I will put money that the burden of her care is on the American fucking taxpayer, in the state that they're in. I'd put money on it. And his son's 19 fucking years old. He's a man. He can support his own sorry fucking ass. Mr. Oliver-Bruno is the sole income earner for his family, and his removal from the country would result in his wife being unable to receive the medical treatment she desperately needs, according to the letter. No, she's getting it from the fucking state. I would put money on it. Like I said, I'd bet $100. Who would take me up on that? I'll put money she's fucking getting her shit paid for by the fucking state. Because illegals walk into emergency rooms and they get their shit covered. They walk in to the free clinics, get their shit covered. Reduced care, they walk into places reduced care. They get it for free still. So don't even try. Daniel is 19 years old and his ability to better himself through the pursuit of a college degree is dependent upon his father's financial and emotional assistance, which Mr. Oliver-Bruno would be unable to provide should he be removed from the country. The guy is 19 fucking years old. If he can't work a day job and then go to school at night or go to school part-time around his fucking full-time job, I don't know what to tell you. Because guess what? I worked full-time, and I went to school full-time. What is this, low expectations? He can't, he's unable to be able to handle that much? That's such complete bullshit. Such fucking bullshit. He's an adult. He can fend for himself. Martinez also has been talking with Republican U.S. Senator Tom Tillis's office to obtain his support for Oliver-Bruno and the 5 others. Yeah, right. I don't see that happening. Good luck, though. Now, this is what I'm talking about at the end with this guy. Okay? He's been a fugitive in this country for years. Take that on top of this. Arrested at the border, Oliver-Bruno left Mexico in 1994 to live in Greenville. His wife followed him in 1996 with a work permit. Now, did her work permit expire? Is she even here legally? She's on a work permit, from what we know. She's not working. That violates her work permit. That means she should be going home. But we leave that fucking fact out too. It is unclear when Oliver-Bruno returned to Mexico, but in May 2014, he tried to cross the border into the U.S. again to be with his wife, who was undergoing open heart surgery. So he went across the border, came back, got caught. 2014. So we're talking 4 years ago. Statute of limitations is not up. And I love how they have to throw out, well, he crossed the border because she was undergoing open heart surgery. At the time, he was arrested at the border because he attempted to enter the country using fraudulent documents, according to ICE's statement. The U.S. government solely allowed him to enter the country for federal criminal prosecution. He was convicted in the U.S. District Court for the Western District. So not only did he enter illegally, but he committed felony fraud. Identity theft. Because odds are, those fraudulent documents, because the way that that's worded, I'll put money, it was identity theft. So he committed a felony. Yet, he should get special fucking treatment. He went through his due process. He was told for the crime he committed, don't come back. You do, your ass is getting sent back right across the fucking border. I mean, this is horse shit. This guy should get special fucking treatment? He's a scumbag who used someone else's identity that he stole to try to come into the country. He should not be rewarded for that. He should be deported for that. Given he had completed his federal sentence, he had been released from federal criminal custody in June 2014. He came into this agency's custody at the time and was subject to removal at that time. However, due to a variety of appeals and acts of discretion, he was not removed, said Cox, the ICE spokesman. Translation: the Obama administration's catch and release. The guy committed fucking fraud, identity fraud. And the Obama administration gave him a revolving door fucking pass. Now they want the Trump administration to bow down to this fucking crook, to this fucking, breeder of shitbags who will assault police officers, and allow him to stay in the country with his wife, who's on a work visa, who isn't working. Does anyone else see a problem with this? Now, mind you, I feel for her that she has lupus, if she does, because we're just taking their word for it. I feel for her. I genuinely do. But that doesn't mean that we should just let them the fuck in. That's not how it works. There are Americans in this country that are worse off than these fucking assholes. And they are fucking assholes for thinking they're entitled. That are getting screwed over. But that's perfectly fucking fine, it appears. That discretion, however, came to an end last year when the agency informed him that Oliver-Bruno Oliver-Bruno moved into the church to buy himself more time. So basically, he was told, look, Obama's shit is over with. There's a new man in the Oval Office. Your time is over. You got to get the fuck out. So he ran to that church and went, protect me. I'm not a man. I'm a little bitch. I wasn't raised that I have to accept the responsibility for my actions. Protect me. That's exactly what fucking happened. And it's complete and total horseshit. This guy should not be rewarded. This guy should be deported. His wife, she's getting, because illegals get all the free shit. Even the legals that are on work visas. Odds are, we as in the taxpayer are covering her bills. I'm almost positive on that. Like I said, I would bet $100 on that. So this is all, he feels over real's bullshit. This guy should be sent out of the country. He did, clearly, fraudulent papers, okay? So that means he had to steal someone's identity. And he got caught. This is not a guy that should be rewarded. Not at all. Anyway, I think I've covered this well enough. I'm just going to leave things here. If you liked this video, depending on where you are watching it, please give it an upvote or thumbs up. If you want to know when new content of mine hits the internet, don't forget to subscribe to one or more of my social media or video accounts listed here. Also, with YouTube, don't forget to ring that bell. You can find all of my video content on both BitChute and YouTube. This may not be the case with other places I upload to, but I will try to minimize this happening. You are always welcome to interact with me at any of these sites on the list, so feel free to do so. If you have anything you want me to cover in a video when it comes to news or current events, send it right along to me. I will try to do my best to cover it. As always, thank you for watching.